everyone, it's Jennifer and thank you for joining me. I have a fun project that I just started working with some of these beads that I had left over from a couple of bead strands from Jessie James Beads, and I just put my leftovers in just a little bag. This is from a strand, so it didn't come in a resealable bag, but I go ahead and keep those separated just because then I will have maybe some other of the same components from a different strand that I want to use and put them together. So I'm going to try and use up as many of the beads as I can. And I need a pair of blue earrings, and I made these. All I did was grab some bead-along head pins that you can get at Jessie James Beads. It's these gold flat head pins. I have one left. So, you know, I'm going to be ordering some more of those. And then I also used some German style 20 gauge wire, also available at jessiejamesbeads.com, to make my simple loops. And then I can't remember where I got these angle ear wires, but I just love them. They're so beautiful. These were left over from the Blue Perennial bead strand, and I will put a link to that in the description, even though I'm not making it here with you. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the description, the link. And then also too, I did an unboxing that included everything that was on this strand, so I'll include that link as well. Okay, so now let's move on to what I have here on the mat that we're going to work together on. Again, I'm using some of those gold flat head pins, and what I'm doing is I'm doing some simple loops, some wire wrap loops on some of the beads from the Peachy Pink strand. So I have some pearls, I have a couple of crystal rondelles. I am going to have a couple stragglers here, but I think what I'm going to do is make up a pendant or a charm with some of these leftovers here. And then what I'm going to do is these gold pieces are going to go in with this here, because then I love those daisy spacers. They're absolutely incredible. This chain here is the simple curb chain from Jessie James Beads, and I'll put a link in the description for this as well. Also too, these gorgeous magnetic clasps. I have them in gold here. They also are available in this gorgeous bright silver. And then I even had a gunmetal. I have a gunmetal color as well. Not sure if they're all still available or not, but I did most of the work here, and then we'll do the last three together because it is tricky. I want to make sure that my chain is all nice and flat and everything going in the same direction. And so sometimes what you have to do is with the curb chain, it will get a little bit twisted, and you just have to kind of get it all back in order, just like so. And then I like to have all of my loops in the same direction, and they are all in the same direction. It's just a little wonky over here, but they're all in the same direction. But once you put it on, you can't even tell, because I put this on and you can't even tell. But I'm still wanting to actually make it with all of the beads in the same direction in the loop. All right, so with that said, I have some flush cutters, I have some round nose pliers, I have some chain nose pliers, I have my bent chain nose pliers, and then I also brought out my stepper. And the reason why I brought out my stepper is because once you make a cut, so I have these two pieces left over from the other earrings, from the head pins from down here. And so I save them. And what I've been doing is I've been making jump rings with the leftover piece after I wire wrap, so that I now have the same color, the same shade of gold for the wire wrap loop as well as the head pin. And then also too, look at this, is the only waist that I have right now. So it's pretty cool. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab my flat head pin and thread on one of the pearls. You can do this in any order. I just kind of placed out what I had left over and then put them in some sort of order. So the middle is going to be one of the larger ones like this, and then I just started working my way in with the babies being on the end. So I'm going to go ahead and thread that on. And the first thing I'm going to do is, these head pins are they're really sturdy, really, and they're thick. So I'm going to come a little bit off the end. So when I have a 22 gauge head pin, I will come really close to the tippy tip because I only like to do 3 wraps. And the thinner the gauge wire, the closer you want to be down to your on your chain nose pliers, because this determines the size of the neck that you're going to be wrapping onto. So I have this here, and I'm just going to give it a 90-degree angle bend like so. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers, and I've been coming in about here. I try to come in about the same place every time. With round nose pliers, since it's a graduated barrel, you don't always get in the same exact spot, but you can use a marker, a Sharpie. I've done it on mine too, but it fades. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the tip of my chain nose pliers again, and I'm only putting the chain nose pliers on the loop, not where the metals all reach or meet. Okay, then you can either use your fingers. I did on one. These are just really sturdy, but I was trying to see if I could do it without bending the end, because then I made 2 jump rings. So I'm going to go ahead now though, and I'm going to use my chain nose pliers just to show you, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap once. And I like using the chain nose pliers only because I feel like I get a tighter wrap, and I feel like I have a better control over the wrap as I'm turning that around. And as you can see, I didn't go one complete loop. The only reason why is because sometimes you can snap these if you're going too fast. So the way I learned was to do the half wrap, reposition, half wrap, reposition, and go from there. Now what you could do is you can hold this with your fingers, and you have this little nubby that's sticking out. It's part of the tail, and you want to get that tucked in. You want to finish off. Well, what's easier for me is to go ahead and use those bent chain nose pliers, right? Get a grip on that, and then go ahead and with the tip of my chain nose pliers, just tuck that in so it's not sticking out. So now we have a wire wrap loop, and I want it to face, I do want the front. This is called the front. Where I start the wrap, that's the front. Where I end is the back. And I want the front to show because I don't want the tail to show. I mean, granted, it will in all actuality. But now what I want to do is I want to make my jump ring, because these are really, really good head pins. And I'm not going to worry about flush cutting this because I'm going to flush cut it when I'm cutting the jump ring. And so I'm going to get close to the end there, and I'm on the smallest barrel. And then I am just going to go start wrapping and make sure that I don't go right on top of the other. I want to go around like so. There we go. So I have a little coil, right? And I go more than I don't go exactly to the end, meaning I'm wrapping a little bit more. So the start is right here, and then I end way back here, just to give me some room so that now I can go ahead and, because as you can see, this isn't completely round right there at the beginning, and I'm gonna give it that flush cut. Okay, then I'm gonna come on the other side here, and I wanna give the flush cut on this side so that 2 flush cuts will face each other. And there we go, we have our jump ring. And then out of that whole head pin, I have this and a little tiny sliver. So really minimal waste. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and get this opened up. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and thread on that. This is where things get a little wonky because I have to reposition the bracelet every time. This, for me, this isn't like one of those quick 15-minute projects. So now I want to put the jump ring on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it here, and I want to add it on this side here. And now I want to close it up. Reposition, get nice and comfortable, and get that all nice and closed up. And I probably overlapped a little too much on but that's still good. The lock that you heard was because I knew that I was really close to them both being the same, and this is probably not the thing to do, but I just went ahead and just pinched it to get them close together. I can't see up close. I usually use like a magnifying glass, but not while I'm recording. Okay, so now I'm gonna lay that back down. That laid down a lot better than it had been, so I'm glad that it's doing that on camera. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do these last two on camera as well. Again, I'm not going all the way down to the tippy tip, but very close to it. And then going ahead and giving that 90-degree angle bend. I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers and try to go about the same place, and then hold on to that so I don't move up and down the barrel, and tuck that to the back, and then get this all nice and centered. Okay, then let's go ahead and get that locked in, and then we'll go ahead and get the wrapping. Now again, you can use your fingers. I don't have very strong fingers. But also too, I think because I learned this way and I haven't deviated from that, and sometimes I will use my fingers if it's a thin, a thin wire. And then let's go ahead and get that tucked in, and just be careful. This is glass, and so you will break it if you don't get your tippy tip right there. All right, and then we're gonna go right there. Let's go ahead and make the other one. And come in close to the end. Give it that 90-degree angle bend. And form that over. Rotate my wrist, push the tail to the back, and let's get that centered. Go ahead and get my wraps done, and I'll show you how I do it with my fingers, and I just kind of form it around. So I will just form it around like that. I mean, it can be done, but I just feel more comfortable with using my bent chain nose pliers. Oh, something else to bring up. You guys need to go check out summer camp with JJB. Yours truly will be there for Around the Campfire. I cannot wait. So excited. And then also too, if you're not a subscriber to the Jessie James Beads Magical Mystery Bead Box, you will want to be. And they have some specials going on with free shipping. So I will put a link in the description for the special JJB stuff too, for the specials. Let's see where, again, I did all of this under the microscope earlier, but I'm just gonna go ahead and cut here to get that flush cut. Then come around this side and to get the other flush cut, the other side. And you wanna try to get it as close to where it's just seamless. One of them I did was absolutely seamless. I had to undo it again because I went, so I'm going every other one of the small links, and I had gone over one too many over here. And when I went to go remove the jump ring and get it changed over, I couldn't find the seam. So that's what comes from doing the flush cuts on both sides. All right, so let's go ahead and do flush cut here. And not go too far. I don't want to go into the other one. Again, we just have very minimal waste when you do this. And your wire's all the same shade. Oh, stuck on there. All right, so now, and I have an extra one because I was able to make two out of one of them. All right, so now let's go ahead and get this opened up a little bit more so that we can get this threaded on, okay? And then go ahead and get that on there, and then go right here. I want a loop. Okay, and then let's get that closed up. Do the little fingernail test and you're good. Okay, The magnetic clasp is getting hung up in some of them. All right, so now let's get this back to being all evened out so that I can get this put on the same. There we go. All right, oops. So you see how I can get a little finicky. All right, so this one's gonna go on this loop and I've got it going in the right direction. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this opened up. Oops. All right. So let's get this threaded on. The front's going to be right there. So I'm going to go right here. And all right. And then let's get this closed up. I want to get a better grip on the one on the right. There we go. All right. There we go. We're closed off. There we have it. Easy on, easy off. There we go. It gets hung up, but easy on, easy off. Is that pretty? I love it. And if you want to add more, you can always add more. It's just I wanted to do something with just the beads that I had left. And when I guess I could have put these on there too, but I was going every other, and that's what worked for me. Easy on, easy off. Again, when you're taking off these magnetic clasps, yes, you can pull this way. It's so easy to do it this way. You saw when I pulled it off, it was just really easy, very easy for me just to slide it like that. Slide it like that, okay? All right, so now let's get this little pendant going. And what I was thinking of doing, and then I have some more chain. So I have more of this chain. And then what I'm going to do is it's going to be a necklace. So I'm going to put it on a necklace. I'm probably just going to hang it directly from one of those chains, those links, and have it just like that. It'll hang perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and add the larger pearl. Then I love these spacers. And you know what I love about these daisy spacers or pinwheel spacers? Is you can add multiple. I think the multiple is really, really cute. Or you can just do one. I like the multiple. Okay, and look at this. Is that beautiful? And I do this style a lot. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and come in with my chain nose pliers. I'm gonna do a wrapped loop, and then I'm just going to, I have these left over. I'll make a jump ring for that, and I'll do that off camera. See, I messed it up a little bit by moving. I'm gonna do it off camera, but I'll get a picture of it because I'm not sure how long I'm gonna make it yet. And I just, when I was sitting here getting ready to record, I thought, oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a little pendant. You see how the chain nose pliers just kind of come in handy, especially when you have like a smaller end. And you can very easily do simple loops. You don't have to do wire wrap loops. I like wire wrap just because I'm more comfortable doing wire wrap. Also, I feel it's just more stable, especially on a bracelet. Okay, so now let's go ahead and tuck that in. Okay, and then this is what I'm gonna do. See, I have a huge long, I have tons of chain here. I love this chain, can you tell? And so I'm just gonna make it like this, add a jump ring, and it'll just be super, super cute. So there you have it. We have a nice little pendant. I used every bead now from the Peachy Pink. And then we made a bracelet using some of this gorgeous chain, one of those amazing magnetic clasps. If you want to add some thinner chain for like a safety, for a safety chain, you can do that as well. Then also too, some bonus earrings that I made using the blue perennial that I didn't show here, but I just did some simple loops. So go out and get yourself some of these amazing bead strands. There's so much you could do with bead strands. And check out some of my past videos. I think I have a few videos using using the other beads from the Peachy Pink as well as the Blue Perennial. I'll see if I can dig those out and put them in the description. Be sure to check out Jessie James Beads. Go over and check out the summer camp, your magical mystery bead box special. It's 123 MMBB. And I will put links in the description below. Be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up if you like it. Also comment. I love to see what everybody has to say, and subscribe. And until next time, have a good one.